Many things have been being said about our bottle openers, and I feel like it's time to tell the truth. It's time to tell the truth now. Okay, y'all, so a quick history lesson here. Mr. Painter here is responsible for the crown cork bottle cap. That's the bottle cap that we see on carbonated drinks like Coca-Cola, carbonated water, or even beer. So he also invented a few other things, which one thing being the bottle capper, which is coming up right here. Now, his first invention looked a little different than this, but this was so you could actually seal the cap onto the bottle, and then he patented the bottle opener. This was some of his original drawings for his bottle opener. Now let's fast forward to 2020. This is Back Yard Krafts' ever first made bottle opener ever. This guy, looking at it, brings back some memories. It's a little hideous. We changed the design up a little bit, such as the leverage piece is now horizontal instead of vertical, and we've changed the shape all the way around. And we don't paint our bottle openers this color anymore. This was actually our first ever bottle test. Okay, right here. So now that we have this, let's hop on into it and learn some more about our bottle openers. What sparked the idea? Whew, that's a good question. I would like to say what really sparked the idea, honestly, was a boredom and a desire to build, or desire just to make something. When I first started welding, I began to just collect scrap metal, which at the time was a lot of used car parts. So I would just bring whatever home and then think of something to make as I sat in my garage or whatever the case is. So this one particular Saturday, I was sitting in the garage and just had my welder in my hand, and I wanted to make something. I didn't know what to make. I don't know if there was maybe a beer bottle on my work table, or I do remember my neighbors were outside that day. They were having a party or something, and everybody was outside having a good time. And I just picked up the chain and started shaping it. And all I can remember, really honestly, is I got it to kind of work. So I went over and I asked my neighbors, I said, hey, I was like, does this open your bottles, your beer bottles? And they tried it. They're like, no, it's a little bit, you need to readjust the leverage opening part of it, maybe. And so I came back in the garage and I fiddled with it some more. And then from there, I went back outside and I gave them the bottle opener again, and it popped the top off of it, and they were like, oh yeah, man, this works perfect. And from there on out, I just kind of became really ecstatic about being able to make my own product and make something that actually was useful. I'm what you would call a utilitarian, I think that's the word. So I like to make products and things that have some type of use. Just as well as being decorative, but I do prefer them to have some type of use as well. So yeah, kind of a boredom and a desire once again to build is what really sparked the bottle openers. What are the bottle openers made out of? What materials? This is actually a great question. So the bottle openers are made out of a steel chain, okay? I was an automotive technician for 15 years, and when I first started my welding journey, once again, I began to collect used car parts. Well, the chain that I use, and most people think it's a bike chain, is actually a timing chain out of an engine. So if you know anything about cars, you know the timing chain is a very important chain that goes inside the motor. What it does is keep the motor aligned or in time, so that way the internal parts of the engine do not collide and cause catastrophic damage. So the timing chain oftentimes gets replaced due to maintenance reasons, or it gets stretched, or another component goes bad and you have to remove the timing chain anyway, so you put a new one in. So it's not bike chain, it's actually steel chain out of an engine. So I like to say it's made out of timing chain out of an engine. This is the bottle opener of the Driven. So yeah, the process in the backyard is fairly simple, I guess you could say. So once we get the chain out of an engine, or if we go to a scrap yard and we break apart an engine or something like that, We bring it back to the backyard, and then we clean it very well. We get some use degreaser. I actually like Dawn. Dawn is a very awesome degreaser. I've used it on the chains tons of times, and it has broken down the grease really well. So we clean it, number one, so we get all the grease off, all the dirt off, all the grime off. And then number two, step two, is we usually will wire brush it really well, just to kind of, because once you put the water and soap on it, it kind of begins to collect rust. So we get surface rust, so we then put it to the wire wheel. Now after we take it off the wire wheel, then we shape it. And once we shape it, we begin to weld it into place. So the biggest process that we use is so the biggest process that we use is welding. We do count our chain links. Every bottle opener has the same amount of chain links. So if you, I'm going to say since the last 2 years we've been making the bottle openers, we use the try to use the same exact chain and the same links as well. So once we get it all wire brushed, we weld it. Now once we weld it, we get all the fixtures together, then we go ahead, we wire brush it again, clean, get all the surface rust off, any dirt, grime, spatter from the welds, and then it does get clear coated, and then it's ready to go. So the process itself isn't that hard, honestly. It's just a matter of cleanliness, making sure we get all the grease off, all the dirt and grime off the chains, and then once we get that process done, we take any surface rust off, and then we get into the welding process, and then it gets get any surface rust, any spatter, all off, and then it's once we clear coat it, it's ready to go. Ooh, that's a big question. Who are my bottle openers for, and my favorite thing about my bottle openers? Okay, so I would say my favorite thing about my bottle openers is that feel of when I put my hand in my pocket and I just feel this thing, I don't know, this cool little thing that I like spinning around my finger. I don't know. It's just a cool feeling to have this in my hand. I just think that's my favorite part, is pulling it out of my pocket and seeing that it's something that I made, and I feel like it's something that represents me. I would say my bottle openers are for those who are relentless in their endeavors. I've gotten that a lot of my products, but specifically my bottle openers, are for men. But from a standpoint of just looking at a product, yeah, you could say that. But I think steel in itself and metal has a certain characteristic to it that just kind of reminds me of someone that is unwavering, someone that is constantly getting after whatever they're working on, someone that is day in and day out swinging the hammer and putting in the work and the time and the effort, and someone who's malleable. Steel is extremely malleable, and you can beat on steel, and it takes a lot to break it. And I just think that's a representation of a lot of people's spirits out there, they're strong, and it takes a lot to break them, and they'll bend, but they won't break, you know what I mean? And when I look at this bottle opener, that's what I see. It's just this piece of steel in my pocket, and I carry this every day, and it just kind of, again, to me, just represents relentless spirits. It's not for a man, it's not for a woman, it's for those who swing the hammer and who believe in more, who are building great things.